The chess club is just a few blocks from here. We're currently hosting the US and US Women's Chess Championships. I encourage you to come by and check it out. It's really an awesome event. With me today is Jennifer Shahade. Jennifer has been involved with the chess club since we opened in '09. She's been a very important part of our process and development. She is a commentator for the US Chess Championships, so you can come out and watch her live. And Jennifer's also a two-time US Women's Champion. She's an author of acclaimed chess titles such as Chess Bitch and Play Like a Girl. She's great for chess, and she's also currently a Mind Sports ambassador for PokerStars. So she is really a phenomenal person. She's got a lot of interesting things to say. Thanks for joining us, and without further ado, Jennifer Shahade.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Mike. So the first game I fell in love with is actually right up here on the screen, and you could have played it on Google Maps a couple of days ago. It's actually Pac-Man. I played it at an acting camp before I got really into chess every night. And the reason I played it was because I was very unpopular at this camp. No friends, nobody to eat meals with, toothpaste in my shoes, that kind of thing. But I played the most popular and best looking guy in Pac-Man every night at the canteen. And it really taught me a couple things. First, that games like chess and poker cross all sorts of boundaries, whether it be gender, age, race, social status in this case. And it also taught me, before I got really serious about the game of chess, about this really important link between strategy and tactics. So strategy, in this case, is more of like your plan to eat all the power pellets, right? Some of those red zones are much more easy to get captured by a ghost, so you kind of want to attack those first. Tactics, on the other hand, it's really about, can I get past the red ghost before he eats me? It's a really short-term calculation. Am I going to get checkmated, or am I not going to get checkmated? And in chess, of course, this is very important. Now, right now, I'm sure most of you know, hopefully you do, that we are in St. Louis, the capital of chess in America. For the last couple of years, it was actually identified by Congress as the capital of chess in the United States. And even here in St. Louis, we see this tension between tactics and strategy with some of our goals at the chess club. Here I am with Grandmaster Jen doing commentary on the strongest tournament in history, the Sinkfield Cup. So over at the chess club, which is in the Central West End, we do chess classes, chess tournaments. We go to hundreds of classrooms. We also broadcast this to chess fans from over 200 countries. So we're really tapping into chess fans and existing chess players. Meanwhile, across the street at the World Chess Hall of Fame, we have some more strategic goals, how to get more people interested in chess. It's already estimated that 35 million Americans play chess, but I think that number should be even higher. And what we do at the World Chess Hall of Fame with innovative exhibits like the hip hop and chess exhibit that we have going on right now, which I encourage you all to check out, is to try to show that chess is for everyone and that there are links between chess and fashion. There was another exhibit recently called The Queen Within, which was all about chess and fashion. So in the game itself, there's also tactics and strategy. It's really the key thing about chess. When do you think in a way where you calculate to a checkmate or a win of a queen? And when do you think more in terms of long-term plans? Another very exciting thing that we have going on in St. Louis for chess is that the United States Chess Federation just moved their corporate headquarters here into this very building, Cortex. And Gene Hoffman, the executive director of the USCF, actually gave a talk just last week about innovation and chess. One of my favorite USCF events is called the Super Nationals. That's an event where thousands of kids come to compete in their age range and try to become national champions. A couple years ago in Nashville, we actually had a record-breaking tournament. It was the largest tournament of all time. We had over 5,000 students competing. So strongest chess tournament ever, the Sinkfield Cup, largest ever. You can see that chess in America really is booming right now. And here's a little clip from one of the kids in the tournament about what he likes about chess. And what's your favorite part about playing chess?
That you have to use your brain and it helps you think and stuff. My favorite part of chess is winning.
I think I can win the trophy and become a national champion here.
I like the kid who said that he likes the way his brain feels while playing chess, because that's definitely how I feel. When journalists ask chess players about how they think in chess, the most common question we get is, how many moves do you think ahead? Really a tough question to answer because it varies a lot from position to position. Here we have world chess champion Magnus Carlsen, who along that line played a very interesting game against Bill Gates. Anybody guess who won? Well, in fact, Carlsen won the game in 9 moves and 39 seconds. Let me see, I think very short game. 79 seconds, sorry. But the thing is 79 seconds, but Magnus actually only had 30 seconds to complete the game. So he really had to use his seconds wisely. But the interesting thing was that everybody was making fun of Bill Gates. Wow, it must be really dumb, lose a chess game so quickly. But the funny thing is that he actually was winning the game. In this very position, Carlsen played a move where he moved his knight forward. You see that green knight in the middle of the board? That was Carlsen's last move. And now white can capture that knight, as he did. And the queen came down and checkmate, and that was Carlsen's 9-move victory. Later, Carlsen, who's a very modest guy, I mean, he's the #1 chess player in the world and also a model, so obviously he has a lot to be modest about. Later he said that this was a cheap trick. He shouldn't have gone for it. I don't know how many of you guys play serious chess here, but in this position, Bill Gates could have actually won. So instead of capturing that knight, what could he have done? Anybody see? You're going to get a winning position because if you count the material on the board, he's actually up a piece in this position. So he's ahead of material on Magnus Carlsen. Any ideas? How many people do play chess here? I know you've got like a chess tournament going on, so I figured that maybe somebody would find it. Or maybe you would all just lose in 9 moves just like Bill Gates. No. Any ideas? That's okay, I'll tell you. I'll give it away. So he could have moved his rook over. See that rook on right next to the king on F1, as we call it in chess? If it slides over, now the king has an escape square. Yeah, so rook e1 exactly would have been the move. So I thought that was kind of funny that everybody was making fun of Bill Gates, because I was like, well, he was winning in this position. So how do chess players think, though, when they have more than 30 seconds? When you only have 30 seconds, it's more about instincts than thinking. But in the US Chess Championship that's going on right now, the time limits are a lot longer. Does anybody have a rough guess of how much time each player has for all of their moves? On average, more than 30 minutes. I'll give you a hint. It's 1 game a day. So if you only have 30 minutes, it would just be an hour.
4 hours?
Yeah, 4 hours is pretty close. So each player has about 2 hours to 3 hours. So most games last between 4 and 6 hours. So chess players, they start by identifying the choices in a position. Should I move my king? Should I move my knight? Should I move my rook? And then, that's not enough. They have to look at what their opponent might do against each of these moves. And then, this is when your head starts to hurt. You have to see what you do against all of your opponent's different moves. And the clock is ticking down all the while. Even this type of decision tree, we have it in the very beginning of the game. This is the opening stage of the game. So you can use it while you're playing, or while you're preparing your openings before the tournament. If I play this move in the opening, what might they play? I have to be prepared for that. And then as it branches off, you can see why chess players have to study so hard before all of their major competitions. And indeed, 4 to 6 hours for each game, but the players are spending at least that much time prior to the game just looking at all these types of possibilities, especially in the opening. In poker, another game that I love, you've got a similar type of decision tree where if you check or bet, you have to decide what to do against each of your opponent's actions. Of course, the decision trees are going to be a lot shorter, but also this just represents one hand out of many. That's a poker software, which just like in chess, poker players and chess players, they use software programs to kind of make their study more efficient. In chess, though, not always do you create a decision tree. Like this example, the queen is the most powerful piece in chess. I'm really big into getting more girls and women into chess, as you might have guessed from the titles of my books. And I think that the first thing you should tell a girl who thinks that chess isn't for them is, well, the most powerful piece on the board by far is the queen. And in this position, there's no point of creating a decision tree for black, because if you move anything but king takes queen, you're just totally lost, right? So it would be a waste of time. You just snap the queen off the board and on to the next move. Sometimes it's also very difficult to create a decision tree because there's just way too many options. And even if the game is 4 hours, that's still not enough time to go through every permutation when you have a tree this complex. The world champion, formerly Jose Capablanca from Cuba, said that in situations like this, he sees one move ahead, but it's the right move, which is really a good technique. I recommend that. So why, if we can play very well even without using those decision trees, this is one of the reasons that strong chess players can be playing against multiple people at once. I played up to 40 people at once in Simultaneous Exhibition. Here I am giving a simultaneous to an all-girls class. And the thing is, I'm not really thinking. I'm just playing on instincts on each board. And then occasionally, the chess champion or a grandmaster might take time out for one particularly tough opponent, like when Garry Kasparov played Rexingfield, and be like, okay, now I'm going to think. And then at that moment, they might actually construct some kind of rough decision tree. But for the most part, it's just like, look at the board and play the first move you see, just like Capablanca said. The other thing I like about Simultaneous Exhibition is the physicality of it. I'm always really tired after a Simultaneous Exhibition. It felt like I ran 2 miles, probably because I did over the course of it. And here is an example of that. This is a piece I did called Hulachess with a dancer friend of mine. And the idea was get a workout in mentally and physically at the same time, because the hula hoops are really good for your abs. Actually, I did another kind of physical chess and workout video, CrossFit chess, recently against my brother. You can find it online. So basically, the game is ending in perpetual check. Those of you who play chess, perpetual check means that I keep checking you and you keep moving your king back and forth. Neither of us can do better than that. If I don't, I'm going to lose the game. If you don't, you're going to get checkmated. The thing I like about perpetual check in terms of hula chess is that it's like an infinite game. You agree to a draw, but really there's no ending to the game. And so in that case, it would be kind of like a decision tree, long branch, and a circle at the end. I also did a Hulachess Simul once. Nobody got hurt. But we can do it right here. That's a pretty heavy hula hoop, so it was a little risky. They had to sign waivers. And of course, we also did Hulachess in St. Louis, the chess capital. Everything innovative in chess comes to St. Louis or starts in St. Louis, because this is really the mecca for players all over the world, and not just the United States, all over the world. You've got international chess tourists coming in for events in St. Louis. So to go back to poker for a minute, I talk about how chess grandmasters and champions give simultaneous exhibitions. Well, in poker, simultaneous exhibitions aren't just for fun. In fact, it's the way that a lot of poker players make their living. The idea is that this is, for instance, is a professional poker player who used to play professional video games, and perhaps he can make only a few dollars by playing one game at once. But if he plays 60 games, he makes almost as many good decisions. So maybe his rate per game goes down to $2. But now he's making $120 an hour instead of $3. So it's about finding that sweet spot where you're getting in a lot of volume, but you're also still making good decisions. So I think that's all really interesting. And the thing about poker and why it's important for poker, and that doesn't really relate to chess, is by playing so many hands, thousands and thousands of hands, he can tell, am I a good player or not? Right? Because over tens of thousands of hands, you're going to be able to see, am I making good decisions or bad ones? Otherwise, in a very small sample size, the luck element is going to prevail. And there's probably some corollaries there with investment as well. In chess, there's so little luck, so you can be results oriented. You can say, well, I had a bad tournament, so I probably played badly. I had a good tournament, so I probably played well. Usually you're going to be right in chess. In poker, it's not applicable at all. But even in, oh, and by the way, this is a chess and poker simultaneous that I played once. But even in chess, I think that it really helps to take the long view. And my brother and my father were both chess masters. And one of the things that I think really helped was that, unlike a lot of chess parents, my dad would never be upset or worried if I had a bad tournament, if I tanked. I mean, he was probably like disappointed internally, but he would never show it. And that's a really smart thing, because ultimately, it's the long strategic thing that's going to make you a good or a bad player. Are you developing good habits? Are you improving day by day? In poker, we have an expression for this that's called, your poker life is not one game, one day, one tournament, even 1 month, but rather it's one long session. So every chess game or every poker hand that you play is part of the entire constellation of what you play. So you should kind of build your repertoire and your habits based on that idea. And that way you don't get hung up on playing too badly in one instance. In this final video I want to show you, I kind of demonstrated that theme with a fairy tale, Goldilocks. And the thing that attracted me to the fairy tale Goldilocks is that in the original Goldilocks, the protagonist was actually an old woman. So the story was about an old lady who ransacked the bear's home and took all their stuff and then ran away. And as the story aged, the girl got younger. So some kind of Dorian Gray thing going on. And until this story that we all know now, where it's a little girl. And so you see her kind of age through this. And to me, it kind of brings up, what's it like to play chess or play poker your whole life? To me, it's like so important to the culture of chess to have St. Louis as the chess capital, because it's a place where we can really embrace our chess dreams regardless of how well we're doing in a particular day or a particular month. So people often ask me if chess is a game, or is it an art, or is it a science? It's a big question people ask a lot. And to me, it's really a lifestyle and a culture of thinking and learning and winning. And that's why I think it's really great, and we should all be so happy to call St. Louis the capital of chess in America.